and welcome to Short and Tall with Tim and Tony.
You did it again!
I swear to God, we're eventually going to get it right.
I'm going to send you the intro for this one. I'm going to send you the intro after this.
You're Tim.
Thank you for tuning in to Tall and Short with Tim and Tony.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Tim.
And
we're adults.
I'm still, grown man-child's.
Who claim to be responsible.
I never said that. That's hearsay and slander. So, I'm still trying to recover from last week's episode.
Would you like a brief, funny story?
You are a funny story.
What if I told you that I thought I saw a ghost?
How's that funny?
Just wait. So, I got off work one night, and I go to the gym. I've been going back to the gym just to, feel better about myself.
Okay.
And as I'm doing that, I'm stopped at a stoplight, and there's a gas station to my left, and it's like a double highway, so there's the median in the middle and everything. So it's a good ways away. And I look over to my left, there's a couple of, the gas station employees just outside, bullshitting, talking.
Yeah, smoking or whatever.
And it's 4 a.m, so, it's dead quiet. And I look a little bit over more to the left, and I see what looks like just the shoulders and head of a form, like a white form, just go, zoom, walk by. I'm like, what the hell? Then I'm just sitting there confused in my truck. The light turns green, I get moving. And I'm just like, what the hell? So I'm kind of mulling on it for a little bit. So I go the same route the next day when I get off work. It's 4 a.m. once again. I'm like, there's no way. So I drive by the same spot again. The light's red. I look over, and then I see it again. I'm like, and then I see it go the other way. Like, pacing? What the hell's going on here? Then I actually paid attention to my surroundings a little bit more. It was the sprinkler system that they were using for the lawn outside. It did a perfect arc that looked like a hooded white figure. It stops for just enough for a second that you can turn your head and get moving, and then it went back around again. I felt so fucking stupid. I was like, oh my god. But
you know that meme, the not gonna lie, had me in the first half?
Yeah. I had myself in the first half. I legitimately, when I saw that, I was like, when that happened the first time, I thought to myself, like, am I listening to too much scary stuff? Is my skeptical brain about to be...
How much Monster did I drink today?
Is my skeptical mind about to actually take a nosedive? What the hell? And then I saw that, and I was like, oh. It was a combination.
Tim's smart. Tim very smart.
I'm a college graduate, and this is what I have
to
offer.
Are you? You are.
We both are.
Yes.
And I truly felt... I felt like, oh my... I felt stupid, but at the same time, I was like, okay, so skeptical mind is still skeptical. Like, it was just the sprinkler system, because I looked over and there were the other sprinklers going off, and I thought, man. But the arch was just a perfect, if you look at the arch on those sprinklers, from when the light's just hitting them and you can't see anything else, it looks like a hooded white figure just walking, gliding across.
Bizarre.
It's scary, dude.
Anyway, welcome to Season 2.
Yeah, welcome to Season 2. That's how we started off. Tim tells a ghost story that turns out to be a sprinkler.
It's gonna set a trend, I feel.
Yep.
Okay.
No spirits, sprinklers. Oh my god. Yeah, last week's episode was fun, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. No, I hate you.
And that was a spooky ass. That was definitely scary for sure.
It wasn't spooky. It was just creepy and
it was disturbing.
Yeah, disgusting
it was
and disturbing.
And... But now, Tony, Halloween is over, and we are now in November.
Yeah. So I am going to discuss one of my personal favorites, probably top 5 favorite cryptids, because you handle the serial killers and the ghosty shit, and I seem to sort of take on the cryptids and the animals, and at least for now. I'm sure that'll switch around once in a while.
Yeah, we're going to jump around a couple of times, I think. I've got a few stories.
But I'll focus on, I'd say probably number 4 of my favorite cryptids. Definitely the most famous, even if you don't know jack squat about cryptids. Everyone knows what Bigfoot is.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows what the Loch Ness Monster is.
Yep.
At a depth of 788 feet and a length of about 24 miles, Loch Ness is the largest volume of fresh water in the entirety of Great Britain.
Mm.
It is in the Glenmore, I think, county? I don't remember how they bisect all but Glenmore region of Scotland.
Probably just the Glen Moor.
Muir, yeah, M-O-R. It bisects the Highlands of Scotland. It's part of the waterways of Scotland itself, created by civil engineer Thomas Telford. Telford, yeah, I'm reading that right. And it's, I would bet money it's probably one of the most famous lakes in the world.
Oh, arguably it's actually just a loch. 'Cause there's a
loch.
There's actually only one lake in Scotland. That's just because it was designated at the time as a lake.
Yeah.
Everything else is a loch.
A loch.
With that hard at the end of it.
I'm sorry to our Scottish listeners if we have any. We probably don't now, but I digress.
C'est la vie.
No, that's French?
Still, it stands.
The watershed of Loch Ness covers over 700 square miles and comprises of several rivers, including the Oak River and the Enric River. The outlet is the River Ness, which flows into the Moray Firth in Inverness.
Okay, I'm getting you.
So, it's a massive system of water.
Oh, by all means.
But we're not here to discuss the geography of this thing, but that's impressive alone. Obviously, we're here to talk about the most famous resident of Loch Ness, Nessie herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go all the way back to the very beginning of Nessie's history.
I mean, where else do you start?
Obviously. Well, you start like halfway, you go back, you make a prequel, then you make the sequel. Oh, wait, that's Star Wars.
I was going to say, okay, Tim Burton.
George Lucas.
Well, Tim Burton has the similar quote, like, you can start a story anywhere, in the middle, beginning, I forgot how he'd said it, but he did he did his thing.
So, the first written account of Nessie is in the 7th century biography of Saint Columba.
Aha.
Back in 565 AD, the monster allegedly bit a swimmer and was prepared to attack another man that was trying to help the swimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And Columba intervened and shouted with all his saintly demeanor, shouted at the beast, ordered it even to go back and retreat itself into its home, back to the depths where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it did. Apparently Nessie can take orders. Who'd have thought?
From a divine power, one would argue.
From a divine power. Over the centuries, very few occasional sightings. So, couldn't really find a whole lot from 565 AD until 1933, not a whole lot going on, but...
Well, I mean, you can also think of, again, how records
Oh,
weren't always well taken care
lack
of.
of records, fires, stuff happens.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in between for 1,400 years.
I'm sure there were sightings that were either just never mentioned, never taken into account, never recorded.
Or, hell, there could have been so many that it's like, what's the point of even recording it anymore?
It's like, oh, you saw it how many times today? Okay, well, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Either way, not a whole lot going on or way too much going on. But We'll jump all the way to 1933
Aha.
to the infamous surgeon photo.
Yes.
Everyone has seen that photo. Even if you don't know what that photo is, you see it, you know exactly what it is.
That is the epitome of the Nessie photos.
That's the epitome of cryptids.
That is the photo. Like, everybody knows it. It appears everywhere.
It is on par. Well, I would say it's only equal in the cryptid community in infamy is the Pattinson film of Bigfoot.
The Patterson film.
Patterson.
Yeah, not Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, not Robert Pattinson film. That's Twilight. We don't watch that.
We watched the Batman, though.
We watched the Batman.
And the Lighthouse.
And the Lighthouse. What were we talking about?
Nessie.
Yeah. So, yeah, as I was, the film of Sasquatch and the surgeon photo of 33.
Mm-hmm.
Two most infamous pieces of evidence. Won't ruin it for you, but you probably know they're both doctored, faked, set up. But the photo itself, obviously, it's showing an unobstructed view of Nessie. Long neck, tiny little plesiosaur-like head, a little bit of a hump of a body poking up above the water, above the surface.
Mm-hmm. And it's all black and white.
It's just a grainy,
full silhouette. Like, there's no discernible features.
Yep, nothing discernible. Nothing that you can really tell. That's exactly what it. It's a monster. It's that thing.
Yep.
But the surgeon's photo was not the only famous encounter in 1933. So Nessie had a great year in 33.
Aha, yes.
There was a road adjacent to Loch Ness that was newly finished, offered an unobstructed view of almost the entirety of the lake. Just one of those picturesque Kodak moment kind of roads.
I would love to be on one of those roads like that, just to take in the scenes. Because I've actually seen photos of Scotland, especially the Highlands.
It's gorgeous.
It is, like, I look at it, I'm like, this looks like something straight out of a fantasy film or a fantasy novel. Just, I can see why so many people base a lot of those film in those locations.
Oh yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Yeah. But in April of 33, there was a younger couple that was driving along the road, saw an enormous creature crossing the road. Then they described it as looking like a dragon or some sort of prehistoric monster.
Huh.
Just some primordial beast. Crossed the car's path, disappeared into the water. So it was coming from the land into the water. According to what they saw and what they say.
I don't want to be stereotypical here, but was the haggis sour when they ate it?
Right.
Like,
how many pints had they had?
Yeah, I don't want to do the stereotypes, but at the same token, it's kind of there.
I mean, yeah. Incident was obviously reported to local newspapers.
If anybody is hearing any odd obstructions, that's one of my cats being an asshole right now.
From April to December, multiple sightings, multiple road crossing occurrences were happening. Enough for the Daily Mail, a local newspaper in Scotland, commissioned a Marmaduke Wetherell. Yep, that guy.
You want to go back on that one?
No, we'll roll with that. Wetherell. Marmaduke.
I love that comic.
Who was a big game hunter to locate the sea serpent, which it's not in the sea, it's a lake. But
Marmaduke
Wetherell.
Marmaduke Wetherell. That's his name.
Yeah, Wetherell.
Marmaduke
Wetherell.
Marmaduke Wetherell. Oh my god, that is if that were not one of those classic
Scottish names.
No, I'm talking like the gentleman big game hunter sort of situation. Yeah. That is an absolute.
Marmaduke Wetherell.
I can see him already wearing like the pith helmet and the big puffy pants and everything. Just that's all popping in my head. With Likely either clean shaven or a big bushy beard.
Yeah. But Mr.
Wetherell.
Marmaduke was tasked with finding the creature.
Yeah.
People were like, this is happening too much, something's going on. So he went out searching, obviously. Was going around the lake shore, went by boat a few times. On one of the lake shores, he found massive footprints they believe belonged to, quote-unquote, a very powerful, soft-footed animal about 20 feet long.
How the hell is something powerful but soft-footed? Like, is it tiptoeing around? I can already imagine Nessie doing like the little with the piano keys.
Well, I was gonna mansplain it for you, but now you just have that image in my head.
Like her four flippers are up like this, like in the like sneaky like.
Kronk in the Emperor's New Groove. He's doing his own theme music.
But
I imagine he means soft-footed, like just not a hoofed creature.
Okay, that like padded, like
Yeah.
how we have. Okay,
Yeah, like pads or just a soft foot, not like a hard casing of a hoof. However, upon closer inspection, zoologists at the Natural History Museum determined the tracks were identical and made with an umbrella stand or ashtray that had a hippopotamus leg as a base.
I've seen those.
Yes, they're highly illegal now.
I have seen those. It's like, why is that a thing? Well, then, what am I saying? Why is that a thing? The Victorian times.
I'll give you one reason why that's a thing. Marmaduke Wetherell.
Again, this, yeah, that.
Big game hunter.
Yeah, I've seen those. They are not small.
Yeah, it's a hippo foot.
And you can truly just stamp as you go.
Yeah. So, obviously that got debunked.
Pretty quickly.
The Wetherell's role in the hoax kind of up in the air still. He never claimed that was or wasn't him, but the fact that he found him and he was a big game hunter, he had easy access to that kind of thing.
Big time.
Kind of leans towards him making it up. So, moving on. Oh crap, it's actually 34. Okay. So 34 was the surgeon's photo, my mistake.
Oh, right. I only know...
I could have sworn it was 33.
I thought it was too.
Yeah.
I've not diverged into Nessie in a very long time because I have my opinions. So we'll save it now for later in the episode.
We'll save it towards the end of it.
Yeah.
But that hoax, the couple seeing it, the multiple sightings between those 2 points of April 33 and December 33, massive influx of people wanting to take photos, trying to find this thing, hunt it down, get the reward money, attention, national attention, international attention. I'd bet money on even.
I mean, think about it. If you actually got to say that you took down a literal monster, like something that has not been seen for centuries, for thousands of millions of years, like a literal dinosaur,
your name goes in history books forever.
You would be down in history forever. Your photo would be, you would be the monster hunter.
Yeah.
Like you would never work a day in your life. All you'd have to do is say, why yes, I did kill the great Loch Ness monster.
Here's all the free drinks, sir.
Yep.
So everyone was trying to be that. And one such person, English physician Robert Kenneth Wilson, photographed the alleged creature.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the surgeon's photograph.
And there's our surgeon.
Daily Mail printed the photograph. International sensation almost overnight. Just blew up.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, this is, again, prior to all the social medias back in the day.
Oh, yeah. This was,
So this is, monsters are real.
Yeah.
Like, monsters are real.
This was concrete evidence that Loch Ness Monster existed.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's head flipped upside down.
There was no way to tell photos were fake. There was no Photoshop. And none of that. This was all truly hearsay, and if it looked real enough, it was real.
Yeah. So, obviously, that happened in 34.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, we didn't have sonar, or if we did, it was very rudimentary. People were still going out fishing for this thing, knowing that this thing could have existed down in the depths of Loch Ness, of this dark...
Sorry to cut you off on that one. Yeah, sonar was invented roughly in 1906 and was used for detecting icebergs.
Okay.
And
So it wouldn't have detected anything that small then,
yeah,
probably.
it would have been mostly used for used a way to detect submarines back in the day. It wasn't. It was definitely used more for military purposes before it was used for.
There was no way that it was civilian applied yet.
Yes.
So had it military only or very limited civilian use, I imagine.
And I think even then, limited civilian use, it would not have been like a. It would not have been a small piece of sonar equipment. It would have been
it would have been a massive
piece.
thing. But sonar obviously was still in its fledgling phase. People were still going out fishing, knowing that there could be this 20, 30, 40, 100-foot monster in the depths of Loch Ness, which Loch Ness is dark.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is, you have like a foot or two of visibility if you're scuba diving. That's all you get, because it's sooty, it's silt, and the current is just constantly kicking that all up. If that thing comes out of the shadows at you, by the time you see it, you're done. Right?
Yeah. There's the thalassophobia. Yeah, no, dark waters. Nope. Okay, you just my skin's crawling over here. Okay, you got me for last episode.
Right.
Oh god. Woo.
Vengeance.
You are the vengeance, you are the knight.
I'm Robert Pattinson Batman.
You are the Ness man.
So there's our next shirt. Multiple means of trying to find this creature were undertaken for years. But finally, and I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to sort of close out Mr. Wilson's legacy of this, 1994.
Yeah.
60 years after that photograph was taken. Finally admitted it was a hoax.
Yeah.
Finally admitted that it was I think he said it was a toy submarine with a cardboard cutout.
And when I learned about that, when I was younger and I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's the photo of Nessie. She's out there." But then when I got a little older and I was like, "Oh, it is a hoax." I'm like, "Oh, that's a bummer."
Yeah. But here's the fun part. Remember our friend Marmaduke?
Yes.
Wilson's photograph was a hoax spearheaded by Weatherall.
Of course. It was a conspiracy.
Yep. Monster was actually a plastic wooden head attached to a toy submarine. And the greatest photo of cryptid history up in flames, metaphorically. Which is just, to find out, if you had been a massive Nessie fan in the 70s and 80s, like, oh my god, Nessie's real. And then 1994 rolls around and you're like, what have I done with my life?
It said 60 years later.
60, and he probably was, if he was a physician, he had to be in at least his 30s.
Yeah, this has to be a deathside confessional or
it had
something.
To have been.
A deathbed confessional. There's no doubts.
So
reaching the end of your life, might as well come clean before you go.
And there was one other very famous picture. I can't find it, but I know it's sort of a serpentine, very rudimentary looking S with what looks like waves behind it.
I know what you're talking about.
And it looks like there's white caps behind it.
Yes.
Yep.
I know that photo. I've seen that. You and I both have the Cryptozoology A to Z book.
Yep.
And that is featured prominently in the Nessie chapter.
That was also a hoax.
Wasn't it like a dog?
It was a dog, and someone overexposed the picture.
That's it.
Because they did a side-by-side of the actual original. If you had seen that picture, I think it was a golden lab.
It was definitely like on black and white photo, it's clearly a white dog.
Yeah.
But it was a light colored dog.
Yeah. So that's the other super famous one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, up in flames on socks.
Yeah.
But there were notable sonar explorations in 87 and then again in 03. And I remember watching I think it was actually aired on Animal Planet. Most of the '03 exploration, they covered, I want to say, like 85% of the lake, of the loch.
Yeah.
And they found like 2 or 3 things that were of that proportion. And 2 of them were like massive trees that just,
Sunk to the
yeah,
bottom.
sponged up with water and just sunk.
Yeah.
And the other was a fucking fish.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. I vaguely remember when I first learned about the Loch Ness monster. It was, I want to say, pre-2003, maybe just around 2000. I want to say, and they were airing a special of it on the Discovery Channel way back in the day.
It might have been Discovery Channel, not Animal Planet.
And I remember seeing, like, you're probably gonna touch up on these. Like, they showed like grainy photos of what appears to be a plesiosaur-looking creature.
God, that's a freaking flashback. I know exactly what photos you're talking about.
Yeah, like the orange one and everything.
The orange sonar.
Yeah.
Yep, the orange sonar pictures. Yep. Man, I completely forgot about those. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think the one that we're both thinking of, the curved one, where it looks like the head, some of the neck, and then like the body.
Then there's the body and the flippers.
Yeah, that I think was one of the trees.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, one time I was fishing with my dad. We were fishing at a pond, at the park pond in my hometown. It was a cool autumn's morning, I want to say.
That sounds like the opening to a Oscar Wilde poem.
We were trout fishing. They'd put rainbow trout in the park pond.
Nice.
So, they only do it during the colder months. Yeah. So, and one time I cast out into there. I wound up dredging a damn tree, like a log and everything, out of the water. It rose up out of the water, like slowly, like that sea.
Oh God, it's Nessie.
Now, like that, kind of like the giant city on the back of that giant turtle in Aladdin 3. You know what I'm talking about?
What is with all the callbacks?
I don't know, man. It raised up like that.
Yep.
Then thankfully, like my line, my bait and my crappie bait that I was a corn or whatever, and then the hook and everything, it managed to popped free, and then it just sunk back into the water, just like. I was like, well, I got that down. I got that down to say.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I'd have been like 10, maybe.
Yeah. So, the last, there's a couple more photos that were actually, this is from, I assume we want to cite where we're finding stuff. New York Post, published September 11th, 2023.
Oh my.
Yeah, recent, and yeah. I'll just read a little bit. I don't know how much plagiarism. This isn't college anymore. I don't know how much we can plagiarize or quote. This picture belongs in any exhibition to do with the Loch Ness Monster, said. Oh, I am so sorry in advance, sir. Ma'am? Sir. Sir. Owen O'Fadelhagen. I did that. I got that.
I wish I could find what you're talking about. I would love to
I'm going
help.
to spell this gentleman's name. You tell me what you say what you think it spells. Eoin.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first name.
Okay, that is Owen. That's pronounced Owen.
O apostrophe Faodhagain.
Go back against F-A what?
Faodhagain.
F-A-O-D-H
A-G-A-I-N. O'Fadelhagen.
N. Let's see. Yeah, it'd be Ian, probably Ofed again. I would have to say.
Yeah.
Just it is definitely a in terms
Scottish.
of a Gaelic name, and there's
No, that is definitely a couple pints deep name.
that's definitely like a Gaelic name, like the old Gaelic. Some of the Gaelic words, they're definitely
Loosey goosey with the vowels.
a little bit. I was gonna say they're a slightly more a phonetic, slightly simplistic way of saying things, like saying Owen, like we do Owen, and theirs is Eoin, because the E is sometimes is a silent one, but O-in is how they do. That's what I'm getting at. I don't want to be that type of person and make a speculation with allegations without proper understanding.
Anyway, this Irishman finish this quote out. I won the lottery with this video clip. Footage was taken August 27th by Owen, who watches for the mythical monster over a webcam. And I'll plug that in later.
Over a webcam?
Yep. It was the eighth time Nessie was reportedly spotted this year.
Interesting.
So she's having a comeback tour. I'm waiting to see if you can find this thing.
I mean, I'm seeing a photo that was caught on camera.
Let me see.
It looks like a couple of trash bags floating next to each other. Like that. That's what I'm seeing.
Nope.
I'm seeing... It looks like a guy with a webcam. I don't know.
That looks like it might be a different one.
Proceed, though.
Okay. The Owen's grainy footage shows a black mass breaking the water surface about 11 a.m. before quickly dunking back underwater as a boat approaches.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Now, I'm still on YouTube. I was flipping through, and there's a thumbnail that showed a clearly fake Nessie head with, like, needle-sharp teeth and evil eyes as the thumbnail. I'm just flipping through, and I just saw it. I'm like, God. Again, dark water and shit like that. That's why I stay on land.
Quote unquote, I immediately knew when it first emerged and began to move that this is no large fish. Fish do not have wakes.
Fish don't have wakes?
Well, I mean, they're not Catholic, so. I might have read this article and been like, oh, I have a joke.
Oh my god. Okay. I'll give you props. I walked right into that one. Second, fish can do wakes. Like, a fish can break... A fish can...
Sharks?
I'm talking...
Jaws?
I'm not even talking sharks. I'm talking like if a fish stays close to the surface of the water, and some do like
the surface tension of the
like largemouth bass. As I used to fish for bass a lot, sometimes they would be so close to the water because they were like bugs and stuff. They would just you'd see their back fins just pop up, and then they would go back under. That is okay.
To continue quoting Mr. O'Fadigan, Owen, the emergence of this creature from the water and its movement is uncharacteristic of a seal or an otter. So what could be bigger than those two creatures in Loch Ness? Only the Loch Ness Monster is the obvious choice, he said. I feel like he really has a need to believe.
Yeah, this
guy.
He
is X-Files. I want to believe.
Dude, get out of my brain. I was thinking this guy's the Fox Mulder of Loch Ness.
So I will show you a picture. I'm going to try and look for the video clip.
Like,
yeah.
Can you, like, do a screenshot or something? That's the thing?
Yeah.
No. Oh, I look at that. It's a clearly... I'm sorry, the skeptic in me is just like, that could be literally anything. It's something big. Fish get big.
I hate that he is so confident because that makes me not believe him.
There has to be a hint of skepticism all the time, like...
Oh, no.
There has
To
to
quote
be.
Mr. Owen again, definite black shape of a hump, 15 or 20 feet would not be an over-exaggeration on the size.
Has he... Hang, give me a... Go on. I'm gonna do it. I'm looking for something here.
So, again, Nessie's reportedly been seen 6 times by someone at the famed lake this year, with a 7th alleged spotting recorded from the webcam service that I'm going to plug at closer to the end of the episode. And then Owen is number 8. Holds firm to his belief that he saw Nessie. Other enthusiasts, obviously kind of on the other end of the spectrum, a little skeptical of what he saw. Steve Feltham, a full-time Nessie hunter who has lived in a van at Loch Ness for more than 30 years. Remember that SNL skit about living in a van down by the river?
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be a life goal.
Nah, but this guy, Steve Feltham. I had to look him up. I've never seen him.
Oh, wow.
What?
So, Mr. Van Man, Mr. Feltham, told news sources that he suspected Owen's sighting may have been incorrect. Owen has been blacklisted by anyone seriously interested in this mystery, Feltham is quoted saying. Everyone knows his stuff is rubbish. It has been ducks and sticks for years. Damn.
It's been rubbish. He full on says rubbish.
It's been fucking malarkey.
That was a little more Irish than Scottish.
Well, he's an Irishman.
That's okay.
Owen is. So
that's still.
According to Feltham, 9 out of 10 Nessie sightings are false alarms, including Owen's.
My God. I'm at least Feltham, who he claims to be a Nessie researcher, has some.
The dude lives in a van by the loch for 30 years. I'm gonna go with what he knows.
At least he has some level of skepticism. Going, okay, yeah, it's not definitive. Like, it has to be definitive.
Yeah. Well, according to Owen, the webcam service actually records alleged sightings and I guess speaks with experts experts, quote unquote, people that know what they're talking about, to disprove or prove. Owen's claim will not be logged as a potential sighting as of this recording. It may change, it may not.
We'll see how it goes because we're doing this, in September, breaking the fourth wall for a second here, everybody. But at the time of it, it's going to be airing in November. For all we know, things may be changed.
But the quality, according to Owen, the quality of the sighting could not really be any better unless you were actually staying there with a high-powered camera.
Yeah.
So, I've tried to find this video. I'm just seeing screenshots, and
that's where I lose my credibility.
It's part of the webcam service, so there's video. I'm just not. It's not cited. It's not linked to it. So I'm going off what I'm seeing in the screenshots.
That still to me is like that's one thing I have issue with when it comes to a lot of these alleged monster sightings is how everything is either out of focus or very difficult to find. And
what's bad is this one's not really that grainy or anything. It's
not out of focus. I saw the screenshot you sent me. It's very crystal clear. Like, it is a very crystal clear shot of the loch with lovely green grass on the crap. What do they call it? On the outskirts around the lake.
Here it is. Here it is.
You found it. Sweet.
Hang on, let me look at it.
This is gonna be a fun episode just for everybody. Tony's gonna be listening to that. I'm not gonna do dead air for this.
Well, I'm trying to do audio commentary, and there's nothing to commentate on.
It's just sitting there like nothing happening. Keep an eye.
Yeah. There's. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of the wake of the alleged monster. There's nothing there. Like, at first it looks like how a duck sort of makes a V wake behind it when it swims, or like a swan or something does?
Yes.
It It looks like that at first. And then it sort of looks like a circle, like the duck or, you know, whatever it is dove.
Yeah.
Just straight down. And then there's a fishing trawler that goes by, and it sort of just fades out. Like there's, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that right there, that's part of my skepticism.
It looks like there's, okay, so I'll give him credit. It looks like there is something, like you can see something moving.
Yeah. By the way, Tony's...
That's a duck. It's a duck. That's a motherfucking duck.
Quack.
Quack, quack, motherfucker. That absolutely, like you can see a little black, almost like a pinhead, because it's grainy photo.
What do you call a pinhead?
Pinhead. Who you call a pinhead?
Oh my god.
But yeah, no. I've never been to Loch Ness. I don't know the terrain that well, but no.
I would love to visit it just to say that I visited it.
Yeah,
Mostly
I would love to go get something from the thousands of gift shops I'm sure they have there now.
Oh, I would go there just to, you know, take a photo, just like one good photo of the loch, just to be like,
Okay.
like actual memory, you know, just click and, you know, enjoy it.
Okay.
You show me the video?
Yeah, so it's a 2-minute video.
All right. Over the blanket as best you can. Alrighty.
So, yeah. And
Okay, it's slightly grainy
look
right
at
here.
I think it's in the sort of the bottom
center
right.
Yeah. There's what appears to be a dark mass.
Yeah.
Nothing major. Down in the bottom right corner, like there's something going up, and then it's just like back down. Again, for me, and a wake like that, it could have been just a very large fish that had breached the surface.
Yeah, breaking the surface for some gnats or flies or something.
I have seen catfish calmly break the surface of the water. Like they will, like I've seen catfish raise their heads out of the water as if trying to take a breath and then go back under the water. That very well. And then there's that fishing trawler just. And I think I saw that little pinhead you were talking about.
Yeah.
Just. But I mean, I'll say even for a duck, that's a big wake.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a duck. I would say it's definitely a type of fish.
Yeah.
Or hang on, there is definitely like a movement, like it's scoot, 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 almost like how some ducks is like going under. Yeah, that is not a.
That's not a 20-foot plesiosaur. I think we can rule that out.
Plesiosaur, sea snake, seat, whatever. That is definitely not a one of those things. Fuck.
Yeah. So, as much as I want to believe, and I was gonna, if anyone's interested, and honestly, I may do this too. So and I'm quoting the New York Post article on this part. There's a new visitor center in the, Jesus Christ, another word I'm going to butcher, Drumnadrochich Hotel building,
okay.
where Nessie was first reportedly spotted in 1933. That opened this summer, and it brought new technology to the hunt to try and track down Nessie herself. There are webcams set up to try and view the Loch Ness Monster. They can all be accessed online at visitinvernesslochness.com. So I'm sure if you get at least halfway close to that wording, you'll get there. But as much as I wish I could believe in Nessie, because I wanted to be a paleontologist until I was like, how many days old am I now?
Good question.
But I wanted to be a paleontologist. I still kind of do. It seems like it'd be an amazing career. But the plesiosaurs, all the evidence we have points to them being cold-blooded and needing a massive diet. And Loch Ness doesn't have that capability. Loch Ness is a freezing cold lake, the food supply is not the greatest. And then there's the fact that even if we knew how long dinosaurs could live, I don't think it's over or nearly 1,500 years.
Yeah.
Because the first reported sighting was in 565 AD of any incidents, and Owen's alleged sightings are in 2023. I don't think one individual creature could live that long, and even if there was a population, there would have been evidence, there would have been a body, there would have been fecal matter, there would have been some sort of evidence besides grainy footage and alleged sightings at this point. Even from 1933 to 2023, like, we would have had something by now. Something would have washed ashore. Someone would have caught a large movement underwater. And that's what sucks, is the mystery behind it. The time has destroyed the mystery itself.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
And the only I do believe Loch Ness has a population of river otters, and I think they've had a few seals come inland on more than one occasion. And then there's the fish that you've touched on that a few times.
There's
sturgeon.
Those things,
in the right environment, sturgeon can get 15. They can get massive, and they are relics of that time period of the plesiosaur. They have not. They're like alligators and crocodiles. They haven't changed in millions of years.
What's even more is that I think they are of something. I think they are creatures of the indefinite age.
Yeah.
Like, give them the right environment, as we discussed in the giant animals.
Yeah.
Hello,
they can live
Azzy.
indefinitely.
My cat has joined us on top of the table again. He seems to be enjoying the Loch Ness monster stories quite nicely.
But, yeah, given the right environment, one of those fish could get to a monstrous size in and of itself. And that itself could become the monster. So, and I want to see if we can sort of make this into a regular thing. As much as I hate it, I'm going to have to say that that Nessie isn't real. It doesn't exist. As it is in popular view.
I couldn't resist going through looking up other photographs and everything, and there's one that shows the opposed gargoyle head, which is a case of pareidolia, i.e., mistaken identity.
Which one? Let me see that.
I can't find it. I'm looking up on Scientific American, and it says, these images almost certainly represent cases of pareidolia. The gargoyle's head image is more than likely a gnarly tree stump on the loch floor.
Oh, yeah.
And then there is that, there's the...
that one. The other orange and black.
Then there's the famous, fin photo. I think that was a disturbance on the silt ground or whatever.
Yeah.
That had been set up.
Yeah.
Much like you, I do believe that Nessie is indeed a fake... I initially thought it was a real creature until I, got older and I realized, time kind of plays a factor here.
Yeah, time ruined it. And even if it was a plesiosaur or an ichthyosaur is the other popular one, one of the reptile dolphin-looking things.
Yeah.
It couldn't survive on its own. Those were both... Some species of plesiosaur were... I guess herd. I don't know what the underwater term. Pod.
Pod would be. I think would be.
They were pod creatures. They were social animals. Same with the ichthyosaurs to a degree.
Yeah.
If it survived by itself, somehow, if it had managed to make its way into a man-made lake, it wouldn't have survived that long.
Is Loch Ness man-made?
I believe part of it.
I always thought it was. I thought it had underwater.
It was a glacial.
I thought it was underwater caverns too and everything.
It might have some, but I think part of it was excavated out, made larger, and then it was a glacial deposit. So a glacier just sort of stuck there way back when and just melted and made the lake itself.
Ooh, Wells catfish is actually thought to be one of the things.
Oh yeah, catfish. Yeah,
I mentioned
those get massive too.
Especially the Wells catfish. You ever seen one?
Those are I believe those are the biggest species
But the
of catfish.
thing is, I'm actually looking at a map of their distribution. They're nowhere near Scotland. They can be in the UK, but that would be on introduced, so to speak.
Oh, I mean, that could easily be someone could have introduced a population of Wales catfish in there too.
Possibly.
But yeah, I mean, the traditional, lost relic dinosaur, plesiosaur. It's not, as much as it disappoints me and my childhood self.
Yeah, as much as it does for me as well. But
I think the closer is what was the term for misidentified that you said?
Pareidolia.
Pareidolia. It's a lot of cases pareidolia, and the occasional occurrence of an actual creature being mistaken as Nessie. Whether it be sturgeon, river otter, whales, catfish, whatever.
Okay, yeah, pareidolia, I had to double check to make sure.
Yeah.
It essentially means a tendency of perception to impose a meaningful interpretation on usually a visual stimulus. So
you see what you want to see.
Exactly. So, for example, I actually have had some instances of my own pareidolia.
You mean your sprinklers?
No, I mean that actually kind of would be pareidolia now that I think of it. But like sometimes like I'll look at like carpeting and stuff, or spackling on walls, and
you'll see something,
and I'll see like like a pair of eyes, like like an actual like cartoonish dinosaur head or something. Like it just pops in my head.
We had a case of pareidolia at home last night.
Oh, do tell.
So the wife was wearing one of her gray sweatshirts and was holding the baby, and he's teething right now, so he's drooling copious amounts of drool.
Oh boy.
And her left side looks like leopard print, like there's just splotches of drool all over her left side, her shoulder. It's kind of funny. But at the same time, it's like, oh, he's disgusting right now. But I swear to God, she moves him over to her other shoulder. I swear to God, it looks like a little T-Rex drool stain on her shoulder.
That's funny.
Like, you see, like, the one dry spot in all of it is like the eye.
Yeah.
And then just the big mouth, and then you see, like, two little tiny arms. You see what you want to see.
Yeah.
Apparently, I wanted to see a drool-stained T-Rex.
Apparently that time.
I don't know what that says, but...
Now, I will say this, while Nessie may actually be a hoax and all, and may not actually exist, she sure as hell has definitely been major in pop culture.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
countless movies and TV appearance. She was in Scooby-Doo.
She was in Scooby-Doo.
I think she had a full-scale movie. Like Scooby-Doo and the Monster of the Lake or something.
Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
And there were three monsters. One that was a submarine, a very sophisticated submarine.
Yes.
Then there was the caber-based ones used by the actual creature that we only see the back, fins, and tail of.
Yep.
Just to add to it, but then again, that's Scooby-Doo. They can have the the paranormal be real in that one because it's a fictional world.
But yeah,
there's
Nessie's become such a staple, not only in popular, just culture in general.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be stories. I mean, I think there's a D&D, a Dungeons and Dragons based monster based off of Nessie.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, there's so much attributed to her. We would be here the rest of the night spouting off the sources. I remember
some of my best memories that I actually do have with like the Loch Ness Monster based media was man, this is gonna date me for sure and date the internet when it was around. Do you remember a website called like Poptopia or something? That is a yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is a head in the hands, yes. And I remember there was a game, as well as in the Looney Tunes games back then, where you were in a submarine traveling around in Loch Ness trying to find Nessie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those so clearly.
I don't know why this has stuck in my memory so much, but God, I think I'm still friends with him on Facebook even. My elementary best friend.
Yeah.
Should I say his name?
No name drop. Just for the sake of
my
argument.
best friend from elementary. I mean, we played Pokemon cards together back in the day. Like we were tight. I went to his house for a sleepover. We were like 7, 8 years old, and I was already a huge Jersey Devil, Bigfoot, all that, dinosaurs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And his mom rented some straight to sci-fi movie.
Oh God, there's so many of those too.
And it was terrible early 2000s CGI.
I think I know which one. I think I know it.
I think the cover was like, it was like the Nessie's eyeball, and there was like a submarine in the reflection, and then the title card above it.
Yeah, I think there's so many of them.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that one stuck in my head. I think honestly because I was critiquing it so badly. Because Nessie in the film was like more of a dragon that just swam.
Yeah.
Almost like an Asiatic dragon.
Yeah.
And I was just nitpicking this. The entire movie, I was nitpicking at this thing. I was like, that's not right about Nessie. And his mother was like, just enjoy the movie. I'm like, but it's not accurate.
You were Mystery Science Theatering it.
Yes, I was Mystery Science Theatering it.
I one of the first like Loch Ness movies for me, and I would watch the trailer for it pretty much religiously. Incident at Loch Ness with Werner Herzog.
Oh wow!
It was made by him and it starred him. It was a mockumentary where he and a group of researchers go in a boat onto Loch Ness to try to find the creature, but in the process, the creature winds up hunting them down.
I love those type of movies,
and even
I love the mockumentaries,
and even more. It was really fucking scary because you never got to see a clear shot of Nessie, which I think that's a brilliant move on Herzog's part because he did a good job with the suspense there. But I'm like, there's one instance where a guy falls in the water and then all of a sudden you just see a hump from Nessie just breach the water, then go back under and swim towards the guy. Then he just ducks under the water and the camera cuts away, and it is just traumatizing.
I mean, yeah. That's probably why you have that dark water fear now.
No,
at least for me, that would be.
I attribute that to an old Discovery Channel game on the internet long ago, where you went in a submersible to see the giant squid, and the giant squid showed up out of nowhere.
Jeez.
Yeah,
the original jump scare.
I attribute it to that, and a lot of the water-based horror movies I watched as a kid. Because sci-fi.
Yeah, Jaws, Lake Placid, Anaconda.
I'm talking like Peter Benchley's Beast and Creature and Hammerhead, and I can go on a laundry list. And I actually have a book. I've just now remembered it. It was called Loch, Loch, and the main character's name is Loch, and he's a standard typical teenager who's just kind of like moody and broody, and he winds up making friends with a family of Loch Ness monsters. Where I remember one particular scene in the book that sticks to me to this day because it was in gruesome detail for a young adult story about this. I want to say it was like this curmudgeon who he's going down onto the pier and everything, and he's just, curmudgeon, just got his gun. I think he had his gun with him, and next thing you know, the big bull Loch Ness monster, the big male, knocks him on his ass, and he falls flat on his back. Next thing you know, he looks up, there's 2 babies that are just slowly munching on his legs like a fucking meat processor, and I'm like, oh god.
That's horrifying.
And I read that when I was like in middle school.
Yeah, I read some pretty gnarly stuff too.
I mean, yeah, I read some gnarly stuff too. I'm not even gonna lie, but that sticks to my head.
Rotating back around to the point of Loch Ness. Loch Ness monster is not Nessie. Is not Nessie.
Yeah,
Nessie has become more of an icon in the fact that it's just infamous at this point.
Oh yeah,
like there was never a plesiosaur. I'd almost bet money. But that what was his name? Wilson, the surgeon photo. That thing changed the world.
Oh yeah,
I will give him credit. He may have not captured Loch Ness monster. He didn't capture the Loch Ness monster. He created the Loch Ness monster.
I can agree with that.
He absolutely changed an aspect of history. Not the way I'm sure he wanted to be known as the one that found Nessie, but he did more. He created Nessie.
Bingo. Maybe because we go back to like the first accounts being in 565.
Yeah.
I think that some of that is definitely thrown up more fantastical. Yeah. I think it was I'm pretty sure Saint Columba likely was a real figure.
Oh yeah, he absolutely was.
But I think much akin to how like Saint Patrick, with the snakes out of it just purely analogous. I think that might have been just it.
It may have been even if it was real and that all happened, it wasn't a dragon or a prehistoric monster. It was, I don't know why I'm so far away.
Nah, you're just getting comfy, I guess.
But it wasn't a dragon. It wasn't a prehistoric monster. It was probably. It could have been a fish. It could have been some weird fish that he was like, "What the fuck? Get the fuck back out of!" And,
yeah.
It could have been a river otter.
It could have been asking for Tree Fitty. And he's just like, "Get out of here, Loch Ness monster!"
Yeah, you get out of here.
Finally! I've been waiting to throw. I haven't done that reference yet.
We're gonna edit that part out.
Nope, I'm not. Gonna keep it in.
But yeah, even going back to then, it wasn't a plesiosaur. As much as everyone wants to wish it is, and
yeah,
it was. And on that depressing note,
yeah,
let's just shatter our hopes and dreams from childhood.
We're good about doing that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's about how I expected that episode to go. Like, yeah, let's talk about the surgeon's photo. Oh, it's a hoax. Well, let's talk about this. Oh, that was a hoax too.
Yeah.
What about this? Nope.
Everything just went the way of the hoax.
Everything's terrible. Oh.
Well, I mean,
I'm depressed.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, for next week we're not leaving Scotland. We're actually just gonna be hopping over to another spot, and we're gonna be discussing stuff involving fairies. So
I feel like we should be playing some Black Sabbath at this point.
Yeah, fairies wear boots.
You cannot deny.
Well, once again, thank you all for listening to Tall and Short with Tim and Tony.
He's Tim.
And he's Tony. We hope you have enjoyed this episode.
And that's a kitty.
And we have a cat sleeping between us. Let us know what you think. Drop a rate and review. It does help us out. Once again, our logo is by Brittanie Miller. Send us an email to tallandshortpod@gmail.com. Or follow us on our socials, Tall and Short Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Once again, thank you, everyone. Have an amazing day. And, don't take fake photos and try to think that you're going to make the next big monster out there. You're going to get called...
because you're not going to do that. Someone's going to find out 60 years later.
Oh, with the internet nowadays, they're going to be found out hoaxed real quick. And with that being said, join us for more Tall and Short.
But
Bye.
let me say one more thing about the thing.